Hi, this is Mrs. Kidman, and in this video, we're going to be discussing how we add and subtract complex numbers. So again, complex numbers are numbers with I in them. Now, adding and subtracting complex numbers is a lot like adding or subtracting radicals. The only difference is we only add what's alike. So when we add and subtract, what we're going to do is combine the real portion of the number and then combine the imaginary portion. And together that will give us our complex number. So let's take a look at this first one. I've got 5, negative 5i. I've got 3 minus 5i plus 7 minus, or 8 minus 7i. So what we're going to do here to add and subtract is I'm going to combine my real portions. So 3 plus 8. And then I'm going to combine my imaginary portions, negative 5i minus plus negative 7i. Fantastic. And then we combine those together. 3 plus 8 is 11. Negative 5i plus negative 7i is negative 12i. And this is our complex number of what that adds to. Now let's take a look at this next one where we're subtracting. We're going to do the same thing, but again, combine the real, then combine the imaginary. So our real portions here are 3 and 4. So I've got 3 minus 4. And then I've got my complex solutions. So that'll be plus. Our complex portions are negative 5 and 5. So then we get negative 5i minus positive 5i. And all of a sudden we combine these and we get negative 1 minus 10i. Because again, we're going to combine the real parts and combine the imaginary parts. So that's how we would add and subtract. So I want to give you a chance to practice adding and subtracting on your own. Let's try this first one. So what I want you to do is pause the video, work out the solution. When you finish, unpause the video and take a look. So go ahead and pause the video now. Okay, hopefully you've had a chance to work through that problem on your own. So here, again, remember when we add complex numbers, we're going to add the real parts and then add the imaginary parts. Same thing when we subtract. So here my real parts were 6 and negative 10. So 6 plus negative 10 is negative 4. And then my imaginary parts were 3i plus negative 8i. So I added those two and I got negative 5i. So I have negative 4 minus 5i. And that is our complex number there. So let's give this last one more example that we'll run through. This one we'll do all together. So we're subtracting here. So what we're going to do is, again, we want to identify all of the real parts. And then we want to identify all of the imaginary parts. And those are the ones we want to combine. So my real parts, I've got 2, my sign is subtract, minus 3. And then my imaginary parts are plus 5i minus negative 12i minus 8i. Okay, so then let's take a look at this. 2 minus 3 is negative 1, plus 5 minus negative 12 is a plus 12, so that's 17i minus 8i, and that becomes negative 1 plus 9i. And that is how you add and subtract those complex numbers. So again, we want to add the real parts and then combine the real parts and then combine the imaginary parts. And that's how we would add those together. Check out the next video in which we will discuss how we multiply imaginary numbers.